Hello, welcome to Should I Buy This Game featuring Everdell Duo. My name is Christine, and in this video I'll give you an overview of how the game is played. I will also be showing you the solo mode of this game, and then I will share a few things I may like or dislike about the game to help you decide if you want to add Everdell Duo to your collection. Here's the game Everdell Duo. Now, if you're familiar with the Everdell world, then a lot of this may look familiar to you, but I'm going to just go over what we have. First here, these are our seasons, and it tells us on each season what we need to do, and I'll go over those a little bit more later. This is the equivalent to our event cards, and with these, once you have it completed, then you can put one of your workers here. Not only do you get to take the event card to get the bonus points, but you also get a special resource depending which one you get. Now there's a whole pile that get mixed up, so every game you play, you will have different events to go for. Then we have our cards. This is what we're collecting to build up our city. And again, we have buildings and critters, and it's again in all the same sort of symbols. We have governance, we have traveler, production, the prosperity cards, and then destination cards. So it's all the same symboling that you would normally find in Everdell. And then down here is our resources. Now these two river tiles get changed up every season, so it's always different. And then we have our basic ones here. And this last one here allows you to get one of these tokens. And if you're familiar, that is how you can use that token to add a critter into a building that matches the same color or production or prosperity. And so the difference is, though, this is one of the only places where you can get this token. You don't have any to begin with. And when you do play them, you can only play one per color. So if you already have a matching green set, you cannot have a second matching green set. You have to use it on one of the other specialties. And then down here is our player area. These are the two cards I'm starting with. This is the tortoise, and then we compete against the hare. And on our turn, we can either place one of our tortoises to get our resources, we can play a card, or we have the option of picking a new card. The difference, though, with this game is when we do a special action, we have to move the sun and the moon token each time. So if we're getting resources, we're placing the sun token, moving it across the board. If we're playing a card, we're moving the moon token and playing it across. And basically, there's 6 spots across, so everybody has typically 3 chances, because you have three workers, so you have 3 chances to get resources, and you have 3 chances to play a card per each round. And as I said, it's 4 rounds for winter, spring, summer, and fall. So I'm going to show you a bit of how it works. So of course, in the first season, we want to get a production card going, because after season 1, they're going to be activated. Actually, before we do that, I get another card. So in winter, the hare goes first. So they get a card from the deck added to their pile. With the tortoise, we get a card from the deck. So that just gets put into my collection. And I get to pick a card from the meadow. And the meadow will have that little symbol there. So because we're with production, I might want to get a production card. So I'm going to pick this one here. We'll see if I get it played or not, and then this gets refilled. So now we're ready to start. So as I said, the hare goes first, so maybe they decide they want to go here because that will give them some good resources. I'm not going to take their resources for now, but each person's only allowed to go to each spot once. So I'm no longer available to go to this spot unless I have a destination card that says you're allowed to go to the spot. So on my turn, when I'm looking, I'm like, maybe I want to try and play this card because it will allow me to collect a card and a pebble. So I know I need 3 wood. So I could put my guy here And you can see it's 3 wood. So I would just take it from the resources and add it to my area. So now the hare wants to go again. So they're like, we like this spot, because these are always really great spots. So they would get their resources. So I know I want one of these at least. And so when I look here at my options, I can either get 2 of the amber, 2 berries, or this one allows me to get one of my choice and a card. But I think I will go here and get 2 of the orange ones. So I know on my next turn, oh, I forgot to move. So we're now, the hare went, I went, the hare went, I went. So the sun is way over here. And nobody has played a card yet. So I know on my next turn, I'm able to play that card. So maybe now the hare is like, I too can play a card. So they're going to move this over 1 and play a card. Now, the one thing I want to mention about the meadow is these cards are available for you to play, but the moon or the sun has to be touching them. So currently, I could, if I had the resources available, I could play any of these 4 cards and any of these 4 cards. Currently, these 2 and these 2 are not available to me because the moon or sun is touching it. So if you know you want to play a card in the meadow, you have to be watching where these are moving and when they are in the zone you want it to play that card. But for now, I'm just going to play the cards I have in my hand. So the hare had gone and they played a card. Now, I know I have the resources to play the card. However, I still see my opportunity. I want to be able to play another one of my production cards. So what I think I might do this time is take my guy and go here. So with this, I'm able to get one of these tokens that will allow me to play a card without having the resources, a critter. And we'll show you how that happens. And then I also get a card from here. So maybe I want to look at some of these destination cards. This one allows me to get one of each of the resources. This one allows me to play a card by the moon for 3 resources less. So that would be one of these cards, if like wherever the moon is when I go there. And this one allows me to get rid of a card and get 3 resources and a coin is worth a point. So when I'm looking around early in the game, I think I'm going to go for this one because if I can play cards without 3 resources, that's a huge thing. So that just goes in my hand. It's not in my city and it gets put back. So now it is the hare's turn again. So maybe I had gone here. So maybe they go there to get the final resources and the sun has made it across. That means we cannot do anything else that involves the sun. So now we're back to playing cards. So the first card I want to play is this one, and it costs me those 3 wood and the amber. And so I return that, and this now gets put into my city, and the moon gets moved. So then maybe the hare played a card and the moon gets moved. So now it is my turn again. And because I didn't get berries, but I maybe want one of these available to me, or I can look here too. This one has, if I get rid of a card, I get a card and a coin. What other? That's the only option because we're not near anything else. So I think the one I might do is this one here because it's worth 2 berries and I get to reactivate a card because right now I don't have a berry to give up. So I wouldn't be able to get the bonus. Now, to back up again, when I played this card here, I was able to get a card from here. So maybe I will take this card and I was able to get a pebble. So now I am going to play this. So what I do is I take that token I got, I put it on the card I'm playing, and it was a building card. That's important. And I can put him here. Then I can activate a card in my city. That's the production card. So I only have one. So that allows me to take another card from the meadow and another pebble. And I move this again. So now maybe the hare played a card, so I'm allowed to play one more card. But can I? I need like 2 amber, and that I need 3, 3, and 2, 1, 1, and 1. Ugh, if I had one more wood, I could play that. So I'm actually not able to play another card. So now if the rabbit could, they could, or the hare, they could play and then move it over. And that is a round. You're just, each time you get resources or play a card, you move the sun and the moon, and when they reach the end, the round is over. So then when we're moving to the next area, at the start of spring, we're going to change out, we're going to take our people back. We're going to change out these 2 and put 2 new tiles in. Then the tortoise activates the production, and then the hare will activate the production and get an extra card because the tortoise will go first. And so to activate production, we go back here. And so I can activate this card, allowing me to get a pebble and a card from here. And then this one says activate a production in your city. I only have 1, so I get yet another pebble and yet another card from there. And then the hare would get their bonus card, and we will get, these get reset down here. And we will start the next round. Now, the other thing you want to do is as you're going, you look here to know, like, do I have 2 and 2, 1 of each? Do I have 4 production? Do I have more buildings plus the amber than my opponent? Do I have 3 buildings and 3 critters? Do I have more production and the destination than my opponent, but you have to have at least 5. And then at the end of the game, whoever has more cards in their hand and city gets this one at the very end of the game. So as I mentioned before, to get these, when you have succeeded at the goal, you put a person here, and you would take this and whatever bonus you get along with it. And that is the basics of how Everdell Duo is played. Now you can play Everdell Duo solo using this campaign book. And there's different chapters. So in it, it will give you a little story. It will tell you a setup. So we use these little skunks, and we need 2 in the meadow and 1 on locations. This is open sharing, which I will explain. And the goal is to get 4 events and a final score if you're playing normal at 85 and if you're playing hard at 95. So for the skunks, we have a die and we roll it. So it's on 5. So this skunk will here go to 5 because we need 2 across the meadow and 3. So this skunk will go to 3. And then we're going to do our location. It's 4, the skunk's on 4. So that means that we are not able to get those resources for this round. And when our sun is moving, we are going to jump over it. So we only now really have 4 moves, not a total of 6. So this game can be played cooperatively, but it's a 2-player game, so I don't know why you would play cooperatively if you have 2 players. Just play competitively. So but the reason why they tell you to play how to play cooperatively is to play solo. You're playing cooperatively, but by yourself. So you're playing as two separate characters. You're playing as the tortoise and the hare, but you're building one city. And so when it's the tortoise's turn to go, they're going to get some resources, get cards that benefit the cards in their hand. And then when it's the hare's turn to go, they're getting resources and cards that benefit their hand, but we're putting it in the same city. Now we can share resources at the start of your turn. You can put a resource here, and then on their turn, you can move it to their side of the board. There's this little pocket watch, and that allows you to move the sun or the moon back one to give you one extra turn, and you can only use that once per the entire game. And then there is a bonus here that either player can gain one of the little tokens. And so you have to decide which side player is going to get the token. And whenever you do use that card, you would just then remove it from the game. But otherwise, you're playing the same as you do competitively. You're building up your city, you're getting your resources, you're doing your little critters and buildings, but you're just building one city here. And you're playing, though, as two players and deciding who's going to do what. And then when it's time to get your bonuses, like in spring where you're doing production, you have to decide, well, who's going to get the bonus? When you play the card, the side that plays the card gets the bonus. But later on, you have to decide it's one city. Am I going to give this bonus to the tortoise or am I going to give this bonus to the hare? So you can decide at that point which side gets the bonus. And that's basically how the solo mode is played. So I'm going to share my unofficial solo mode. This is not how Everdell Duo people want you to play the game. I explained to you how they want you to play the game. But personally, if I'm playing by myself, I find playing back and forth and sharing resources a little too much for me. So what I personally like to do is I just take all the critters, and I just play it, still moving everything around and having my four choices, but I play as one. I don't play as two separate building one city. I just put all the cards, all the resources on one side and build the city as you build it. But I don't worry about who has what and I forgot to give them this the last turn and they need that. I just find that all too much for me. And I just like to play, if I play by myself, I give myself all the critters and I just play and try to see if I can score a good score. So if you do play the campaign mode, they have these sheets. You can name your city, who you're playing, and if you're playing normal or hard. And then on the back, you keep track of your scores. So the first time I played, I lost, and the next time I played, I won with a score of 96. I did not use the little pocket watch when I played, but I did replay the level. If you are playing on normal, you are allowed to replay each level only one time. And if you replay a level, they want you to take 30 points off your final score. If you are playing hard, you can only replay 3 levels, and that's it. If you lose, you lose. If you don't use a pocket watch, you get plus 10. But I just wonder to myself, Everdell, why so strict? Why do I have to subtract 30 points because I didn't win? Like, I'm sitting at home by myself and I just feel like the Everdell police are on me. Like, you are bad. No, you lost. You cannot replay. So that would be my only thing. I don't know why there's such strict rules. It's not like I'm competing against anybody. I'm just sitting in my living room playing. And the fact they're like, you lost? Haha, minus 30 points for you. So I just find that I'll probably ignore all this. I don't even know if I'll complete all 15 levels of playing this solo, but I just found they're being very strict, I feel, when it doesn't need to be that strict, when it's a game. So just to be aware, play how you want to play, as I always say. It's your game, and if you don't want to take 30 points off your final score, then I don't think you should have to. So should you buy Everdell Duo? I think this game is good if you have been curious about Everdell, but you haven't had a chance to play it because it gives you that introduction with the different events, the cards, and the resources, because that's the base of the game. The other thing is maybe you have played Everdell, but sometimes you don't want to pull out your big game, and this will just give you a quick little taste of the game that you can play and then move on in your day as well. Now, we really like the fact there are so many selections. There's so many different event cards. There's always a pile of these cards, and the cards have included a lot of the different expansions, like from New Leaf, we have the locomotive in that, and so from Pearlbrook, there's like the ferry and a pirate ship. So there's cards representing all the different expansions to the new main game. And I like that these change out every round, so you're always getting new resources that you can pick from. With all that being said, in my opinion, this does not replace that big Everdell experience. If you like playing Everdell, you love to get out your board, choose the expansions you're playing with, and really work up your city and picking your cards, and you get more turns, and it's not limited based on where some other players are. And so this, as I mentioned, is a good sort of introduction, but if you like Everdell and you love that big experience, this game will not replace it. It will just give you, as I mentioned before, the taste of Everdell without having to bring out the big game. So let me know if you have played Everdell Duo and what you think of this game.